Hello lovers. I am doing a little journal setup here with a new camera arm and table setup here to show you this incredible obsession with journaling that has rooted in me this year. I have been teaching intuitive collage and doing intuitive collage for about 5 years. I got really activated by it at the beginning of 2020 when the COVID shutdown happened. And I was on a live with Kim Kranz, the creator of the Wild Unknown Oracle. And she walked us through this way that she does intuitive collage. And I did it one time and it completely captivated me. I think one, because I've always felt like I was a creative person, but I haven't taken really any formal art classes. One art class in high school, and by the time I was at the end of my junior year, senior year in college, I kind of got the gist that I should have majored in art. But when I went to go ask my counselor about it, he was like, well, you're nearly done, so you would have to stay for 2 more years. And I was like, peace out, I'm not staying. I'm graduating with my friends and getting on with my life, which I'm very glad that I did. And I ended up majoring in English anyway. And I've loved that. I love writing, I love reading. And so it kind of all blends into the journaling. Like, isn't it a weird thing that the life that we live and life in general has a way of guiding us to where we are always supposed to be, where we were always supposed to be? And so in 2020, I got completely reactivated by journaling. It was a practice that I did in college, actually. And in fact, I still have one of my bound collage books, and I will show it here at some point. But for today, I just got this camera arm, I just got a light, and this is not my desk where this is laid out, because it was very difficult. My desk is round and it's in the corner of my room, and it was very difficult to get the camera arm set up and the light and everything. And this is nice because I've got the natural light coming in. So I'm just going to walk you through really fast. This will be super brief. I'm not going to do a whole lot, but I just want to show you, like, this started this year in January, at the end of last year, 2024, a friend of mine from college, and I don't even know if she knew that I did this collaging practice back then, but she gifted me a Hobonichi Cousin, which is not in here. It's this size, but it is not in this lineup here because I'm not using it anymore. I abandoned it because what happened was I started using it, and this is a really beautiful, here, I'll just set this here because it keeps wanting to fall. It's a really beautiful kind of journey into the creative process anyways. When you start something, it's like you have to start somewhere, and then it leads you to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And what it did is it activated this deep desire to go back to analog planning, to, even though I still use a digital calendar for all my work and all of my appointments, but it activated this whole memory of how much I loved pen to paper and just the idea of being in that analog process. I mean, this is really, it's just a beautiful thing. And as I started using it, I realized that I had multiple needs. So I kept kind of listing out those needs, and I was like, oh, okay, I need a straight up journal. So that's what this ended up being. This is just a Midori. This is called the Codex. It's the 365 days. I'm not going to show any of it because that's all personal. But I started with this, and I was like, I need to have just a straight up journal. It's not pretty, it's not decorative. Like, I've just got this little thing in the inside, and that's it. It's just for writing. I sit with this every morning. Then the very first thing actually I started realizing that I wanted to take up gratitude journaling, and I wanted to have a place for it. I've done it before. I did it in like one of those 5-year planners where you get like 5 lines for each one of the 5 years and you go through it. Well, every year I would abandon it like around March and I wouldn't do it. So I'm like, I want to have something like this. So this is the Traveler's Notebook. passport size, and then I also ended up getting the regular size. So this one is literally dedicated to two things: gratitude practice. So every morning I stamp my day with this little handy stamp, which I can link on Amazon. It's amazing. I've got my little plastic pencil board situation here, which is really, really helpful on the blank pages, because when you put it through, you can see the line. So it's easier to kind of, you know, keep in line. So I really like that. And then I've got a second book in here for strength training. I just started a weightlifting practice. I have never done this before. And I wrote, if you stay in flow, you don't have to get in flow. This was originally going to be a channeling journal, and it quickly turned into a strength training journal. So you can see I've even cut out some of the pages that I started with. And I mean, this is a brand new practice. I don't love working out. You know, I've always done like yoga, running, like I do things, and I walk 3 miles nearly every day. But weightlifting has not been a thing. And I was like, you know, I'm 51 now and I need to get real with this. So I started that. So that's dedicated here. And what I found when I had the Hobonichi Cousin, I loved the size of it, but I felt like I had like my mind wanted to go in too many different places and I couldn't fit it all in one thing. And then this is really what happened with that. Do I want to get into this yet? I'll get into this now. Yeah. I found this cover completely on accident I wasn't looking for this cover at all. In fact, I was looking for a Hobonichi Cousin cover, and this is the A6. So it was smaller than I was looking for, and it was smaller than I thought that I wanted. But I found this cover on Baumkuchen's website, and I was so obsessed with it, and it was kind of expensive. So I was like, do I really want this? Do I really need this? And I can see it's already getting dirty, which is going to make me heartbroken because I just love this thing. So anyways, I felt like this is like everything about me. I have a cat. You know, just the whole thing, just the design, something about it spoke to my soul. And I was like, I need to have this. Well, of course, if you have the cover, you got to fill it with something. So, and I love this. I leave this 100 in here to remind me that I have resources. I'm well resourced, all of that. It really makes me happy every time I open this. And so I got the Hobonichi. This is the A6. So this is the original. So I got this and I was like, I'm just going to dedicate this whole thing to just art, just creativity. And so I did, and I just had it in here plain for a little while. I had the cover tucked inside for a little while. I didn't like that every time I opened it, this flipped up. So I decided to leave it like this. Well, then I realized that I didn't like the cover of it, and I didn't really want to put stickers on it. I didn't like the blankness of it, and I didn't want to put stickers on it. So I was like, well, what the hell? I do and teach intuitive collage twice a month at the new and full moon, if you didn't know that. And I also host new and full moon ceremonies, and there's even a membership that includes all of those every month. It's so beautiful. It's like a gym membership for your soul. I just love it. So anyways, as I had this blank, I realized, wait a minute, why am I not doing a collage? So the way intuitive collage works is and I guide the whole thing. There's kind of like a meditative process that we do at the beginning. And you pull all the images at random. So when I show you what's inside when I show you this, well, now you're seeing it. You're going to be surprised when you look at these, and you're going to think, well, I chose these images on purpose. And of course, because they look similar. No, I did not. I pulled the images here at random. I pulled the images here at random, and I'll get into why I created this later. This is the same set of lingerie. Out of a huge stack, I have a giant basket of images. So first I got the underwear, and then I got the top. And I'm like, are you even kidding me? Now, of course, the create freedom. Freedom is my word for the year. So when I started doing this, I realized that there was this creative vibe that wanted to come in to both my work and more present in my daily life. So this just gives you an example of how crazy intuitive collage is. And every time we do it, the people that are on, we all end up having color themes, word theme, image themes that are similar, that overlap. So I'll get into that later. but I really wanted to create a cover. So this is actually the Midori cover. And I asked the woman at the store, does this fit? And she says, well, sort of, if you put a blow dryer on it. So I didn't find it to be difficult at all. So I did a collage and I covered it, and that made me really happy. And then I got some stickers in here. This is from Sarica Studio. I just adore her. And Become Ungovernable. That is my whole mission for this year and going forward, and to just break the mold of everything that I've been doing. And so, and this is also even the spring start, because I was like, I don't vibe with a Gregorian calendar. I have always had a difficulty with that. It doesn't vibe with the seasons. It doesn't vibe with astrology, and I'm an astrologer also. So the year starts in April. So that's what I did with this. I was like, I'm going to start my year over in April with this, and it's amazing. And I just write one thing each day for what kind of was the theme of my collage. I mean, this is, and I'm going to fill out the, you know, turning the page and all that later. I also have a practice of pulling oracle cards every January 1st. And so I have a little sticker printer. So I pulled that out and I did that. So each day I just do a little bit about the theme of what's coming up for the day. It's super easy. It's just washi tape, markers, stickers. It's just one of my favorite things. It's become an obsession, and I do it every day. See, I haven't done, this is today. I haven't started it yet today. But it's just my favorite thing. So this planner cover, and this is what I think is so beautiful about spirit and the creative process. We are always led to where we're exactly supposed to be already. And so finding this cover was like this beautiful thing. And I had like an inner resistance about it, honestly, because, you know, it was expensive. And I was like, do I really need that? Like, I already have these other planners, blah, blah, blah. And then I abandoned that. And I was like, that's stupid. I'm not going to limit myself. So I started following videos and looking at different people's stuff. And I really fell in love with this traveler's notebook thing, because you can customize it for exactly how you want it. So I've got two inserts in here, and one is just, I kind of ended up commonplacing here because I always find things, I'm reading things, I'm taking classes, and, you know, I was going through the sacral center of the human design, of my own human design, and marking down which ones I had, and listening to this video, and okay, which one does my husband have, which one do I have, so I can see how it's all synced up. And I thought that was so interesting. And then this came from Emotion Code. I just started reading this book because I just started offering this practice, and it's so beautiful. I had no idea this was a Mark Twain quote. Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth is not. I mean, it's just so beautiful. And I literally just published an energy medicine in the chakras course on Insight Timer that talks about this exact thing. So, and then the other thing is I wanted to get into calendaring again. I loved this. When I was in college, I had one of those August to August calendars, and I loved doing the month and all of that. So I started with March, and this was just with stamps I already had, and I didn't like it. So I bought new stamps, and so I did April, and I just kind of, goal setting also is kind of a new thing for me, and that's crazy because I've been, you know, an entrepreneur for 8 years now. But I don't like putting goals down on paper for some reason. I have this resistance to it because I'm afraid that if I don't check them off, then I will feel like a failure. And I'm totally working through that with my own emotion code clearing, and it's just so perfect. So once I got into the flow with the stamps, then I got more stickers, then I got more into a flow with it. I just set up my June, and I just love it. And so then how this came to be was I decided that I wanted to have a weekly calendar also that was just dedicated to work so that I could stay focused on getting some of these goals done. So this is kind of like high level goals. And then with this, I would go into the weekly. Well, this is from Baumkuchen. This is the GU. And I love that it means freedom. And that was my word for the year anyways. And I love that it's undated, so I can just do it whenever I want. And I initially had this in the back of here. Well, here was the problem. It was getting so thick that it was like oppressive to carry around, and I didn't like it. So I was like, I want this to be separate so that I can just look at this and just have this open every day. And I got a cute little clip here I'll show another time. Well, actually I can show it right now because I can do an unboxing of it in this video. How amazing, it's sitting directly next to me. Okay, this is just from Amazon. I'm sure you've seen it if you're a journaler. I saw it initially and I was like, oh my God. I mean, I'm an astrologer, I'm an intuitive healer. I mean, what the hell? I use oracle cards a lot. I don't read traditional, you know, tarot or anything, but I just thought this was so cool. And what was happening was, you know, it wouldn't lay flat. Like, it's kind of doing it now, but when you turn the page, it doesn't lay flat. And so I was like, I need something that I can just lay right there and I can have this out at my desk all the time. And so I can see what's going on for the week. And so I've got like work to-dos, personal to-dos. I do keep a few appointments in here, but like I said, I use a digital calendar for all my work appointments and everything. But I love this. And wait till you hear how friggin' nerdy I am. This is why I love this and why I wanted this. I am deeply focused on, in all of my work, bringing through, like, co-creating with spirit and being in divine order, in divine symphony, so that I'm working with and through the goddess, that the goddess is working with and through me, the divine mother. And when I got this, I realized, you know what I love about this is it feels like the divine mother has her hand on my work. It's my favorite thing ever. So that's that. And that's how that came to be. And I don't know if I'll keep it closed like that, you know, periodically. But anyways, I just be extra. I mean, come on. I just love this. And I'm really, really happy with having this separate. It's just amazing. And I got this clear cover from Sarica Studio too. I friggin' adore her. And she talks about her autoimmune journey, and I've struggled with that really intensely for, you know, 20 years, and it's hardly a bleep on the radar. But look at me, I'm obsessed. These are all her stickers, most of these guys. And I just love them. So I'll go into all of that later, but this is just like a teeny brief intro into my obsession, and so that you can kind of see what I've been doing. And this has all been going on behind the scenes. I mean, the journaling is fresh in 2025 because of my dear friend gifting me that Hobonichi, which I'm so incredibly grateful for. And it's taken me on this rabbit hole, which I'm so glad that I was brave enough to go down. But yeah, but I've been teaching intuitive collage for 5 years, and it's one of my favorite things. You can find it on my website under events, and you can come individually for $11. I'll put the link below. But like I said, that there's a membership, and so there's new and full moon ceremonies every month too, and they're pre-recorded. They're in my shop a few days before the full and new moon, and you know, you can just download them and listen to them at your leisure. So anyways, love you so much. Happy to be here on the interwebs with you, and I will see you in the next video. And please let me know if there's a question that you have or something. I'll just kind of be diving in and going, okay, what do I want to talk about? Do I want to go through the process of collage? Do I want to talk about why I have all these things? You know, whatever it is. So anyways, love you so much. Happy to be here with you and share this obsession that I've literally had since I was a kid. I just could go into stationery stores and get lost for hours, and I have forgot about it. And it's like my inner child is rising up and saying, hey, I want to play with you. And I'm tired of you being so serious. So that's what we've got. All right. Love you.